Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm back. It's Saturday, October 10th, and it is 10:15 p.m., getting a little bit of a late start, but at least I'm getting a start. Now, if you guys recall, yesterday I told you that we were going to be getting a sponsor, and it's something that I hadn't considered before now because I'm just not into that. But they did send me their products. I tried them. Very, very impressed by them. So I wanted to pass that along to you guys as well. They are patriots, and I think it's important to support patriot businesses. So without further ado, let's hear from them. Rafa Rub has got to be my favorite line of CBD relief products. It's created in small batches and hand poured in Georgia. I've used it, works for me. I believe it'll work for you too. Got pain? Well, these days who doesn't? Back, neck, shoulder, knees, hips, hands, feet, even headaches, migraines, menstrual cramps, and skin irritations. My gosh, they even have a pet line. I like Rafa Rub best because it has the fewest ingredients and is the purest of any national brand with 0 THC. And they have the proof of that. I use the topical rub for pain, and a little goes a long way. Check out rafarub.shop. You'll find relief in a variety of products, including Rafa 100% pure CBD oil. It's not a tincture like the other brands because tincture actually means that it's been diluted down to 20%, but not Rafa Rub. And you'll only need 3 to 5 drops instead of a dropper full. So it's economical as well. Journey and Ron are patriots who care about relief. Look at rafarub.shop and use Deception Bytes when you check out to get 15% off your entire purchase. And be sure to let me know how it helps. All right, guys, I'm back, and now we are going to get into the news. All right. Well, as always, there's a lot happening out there, and we've got it for you. Okay, first The Hill, teen climate change activist Greta Thunberg endorses Biden. Now, raise your hand if you care. I didn't think so. I don't even see one hand raised. So let's go on and let's look into this. All righty. My cats are tearing around here like crazy tonight. I don't know what the issue is with them, but they are happy as clams, running, jumping, knocking things over. So if you hear things in the background, it's probably them. If not, I don't know what it is. All right, the media won't talk about it, but there are thousands of Miami residents out in a car parade right now for real Donald Trump. Because why would they go for fake Donald Trump? No, they wouldn't. Cuban Americans will keep Florida red, help re-elect Trump, and keep Republican majorities to save Republican majorities to save America. Guess I can't talk tonight. I don't know what the deal is there. No, I have not been drinking. And let's take a look at this. Yep. There's no denying people love Trump. And the thing is, I don't know. I know the mainstream media never reports on it, but the crowds, anywhere he goes, anything with Trump's name attached to it is an absolute sellout for sure. And I don't know, the mainstream media is working overtime. But I think it's like the enemy always oversteps their bounds. I always said that about the enemy of our souls, that he always oversteps his bounds. Well, it's the same thing with the Democrats. They always just take that one extra step that makes people go, wait a minute. And I think that they've done that. And I think people are leaving en masse now, the Democrat Party. I really do believe they are. All right. Of course, you'll never hear that because the polls are all fake. But regardless, we know the truth. And let's come down here to this. Now, I found this very interesting. Somebody mentioned it in the comments, and I had never thought about it because I never saw the Godfather movies. I know I'm probably the only person. The only scenes that I remember is the horse's head because, you know, I'm not sure why I actually ended up seeing that, but I did, and it was horrific. But here, this person, Enoch, has said both oranges and a horse's head were used in the movie The Godfather as warnings. Now, I would never have known that because, again, I never saw the movies. I did know that the horse's head was a warning and used in the movie, but was not aware of oranges. So I think that this is very fascinating because October 8th, 2020, Comey and Pelosi use this imagery. So let's take a look at what they used here. And thank you for the person that drew my attention to this, because then I was able to go out and see this for myself. But I'm trying to, I don't know how let me make this bigger, way bigger for my tiny phone people. All right, so over here we have Nag's Head, and this is from Comey. Nag's Head, I believe, isn't that in North Carolina? And so this is Nag's Head on James Comey's Instagram, and this is Pelosi. And I remember that mask, and I remember thinking, why does she have oranges on her mask? Wouldn't it be so much nicer and more professional looking to just have a plain colored mask? But I never really thought about it as a signal, but that's exactly what this was. Oranges and a horse's head were used in the movie The Godfather as warnings. So who are they sending this warning out to? Well, I can, I don't think that there's any question about who they're sending the warning to. Do you? Anyway, I thought that was quite fascinating, to say the very, very least. Now, here we have another one for some reason. And I'm not sure why, but anyway. And this, I know that it's now Saturday, but I thought this was interesting. It's a news blast, Friday, October 9th, and some good points here. President Trump sets radio rally record with Rush, over 50 million viewers. Now, what is there, 360 million people in the United States? So that's like 1 in every 7 people watched this in the United States. Like, wow. Unless my math is off, because I'm an English major, not a mathematician. Trump then goes on Levin's show and was interviewed. Trump then gets medical exam on Tucker's show. Pelosi announces bill on the 25th Amendment. Could we have a collective eye roll here, please? Yes. Feel better? I do. And Steve Scully believes Scaramucci tweet was a result of a hack. Right. And we all believe it. And Hurricane Delta makes landfall in Louisiana. Beetlejuice blames Trump for plot against Michigan governor, that would be Gretchen Whitmer. Derek Chauvin can leave Minnesota due to safety concerns. Judge says early voting starts in Arizona with record-breaking turnout. Texas girl breaks record for world's longest legs. Well, that's one I missed. Didn't get that in the news yesterday, but hey, I'm much better off knowing this information, I guess. I don't know. World's longest legs. Pompeo states he's working on releasing all of Hit Squad Hillary's emails. Woo! And he is. Wisconsin rioters face heavy dose of tear gas and pepper balls. 1,500 dead birds dropped from the sky in Philadelphia. That's another one I missed. Didn't know that, but curious. Delaware man charged in Michigan governor kidnap plot was pardoned last year. AG Barr says John Durham's Russia probe won't be done before election. Biden removes mask to cough into his hand. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, that's the whole point of the mask, Joe Biden. The whole point of the mask is to keep your cough to yourself and not spread the droplets. No, but he takes his mask off to cough. Not how it's supposed to work. Trump says documents reveal that General Flynn was entrapped. No kidding. We knew that from Q. How long ago? Years ago. It wasn't years and years ago, but it was years ago. Let me see. Trump tweets. Give them a read. Yes, Trump always tweets. And you know what? I'm okay with that because the mainstream media is never going to report what's going on. So Trump, I mean, we follow his tweets to know what's going on, right? I do. I don't know about you. Nothing is ever truly deleted. And that makes me happy and nervous because we've all said things probably that we wish weren't out there. But once you've said them, they're out there forever. And what is your favorite fall soup? Well, I don't know how that fits into the news, but let me see. My favorite fall soup would be probably butternut squash. Yummy. All right, so let's move on, shall we? Now, I forgot to put the link in that one. So, and it's not wanting, hang on here. You know, it wouldn't be my program if we didn't have a few screw-ups here and there, or many. And let's take a look at this because we can and we will. All right, breaking. Pompeo will be releasing all 33,000 deleted Clinton emails, even before the election. Can we all say a hearty woohoo? Yeah, that's how I feel, and I said it.
Mike Pompeo is unable to get them out, which is very sad. Actually, I'm not happy about him for that reason. He was unable to get them out. I don't know why. You're running the State Department, you get them out. Forget about the fact that they were classified. Let's go. Maybe Mike Pompeo finally finds them, okay?
And then just now on Rush Limbaugh, he had this to say.
She deleted 33,000 emails. She should be in jail for that. I don't even care if they're very highly confidential emails. I don't care what.
So what is the state?
Forgive me for a moment. That is my cat meowing and not your cat, because I know if I'm listening to somebody and there's a cat or something in the background, I'm always thinking, is that my cat? It's not. It's mine. All right.
Of this investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails at the State Department.
So, Dana, you'll remember I was close to this even when I was a member of Congress, when I served on the Benghazi committee now, what seems like a little bit time ago. We've got the emails. We're getting them out. We're going to get all this information out so the American people can see it. You'll remember there was classified information on a private server. It should have never been there. Hillary Clinton should never have done that. It was unacceptable behavior. It's not the kind of thing that leaders do. They don't put that kind of.
So, good news. Yeah, before the election, we're going to see all 33,000 deleted Clinton emails. My gosh, what a smorgasbord of smut is probably in there. Yes, I can't even imagine. 33,000. Well, I am going to go through the emails, but let me tell you, it won't be done overnight because it's a lot of emails. And, well, I can only imagine what's in there. All right. Well, let's go on now because we can and we should, right? We should go on. So let's go. And this from Major Patriot. Breaking overnight. Military intelligence sources close to the president indicate CIA was actively involved in domestic targeting and surveillance of Trump campaign personnel. To do this upon U.S. citizens would have required approval from DNI James Clapper and AG Loretta Lynch. Not anything we don't know, but it's all coming out. It's all coming out. And Richard Grinnell, love this. He's responding to Charlene Fernandez. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris bus came through Yuma. So many supporters excited to finally be able to cast their vote for Biden-Harris. And what is there? All of about 20 people there? I don't know. There might be 30. Not too many though. And then look, these look like free balloons they were handing out. Woohoo! Trump gives pizza when he was in the hospital and people were out there wishing him well. He sent pizza out every 45 minutes. He sent 45 pizzas out to the crowd and along with gifts and so forth. But what does Biden and Harris do? Well, they give people, I guess, these tacky balloons. Woohoo! Look, I got a balloon. Yay! So anyway, there is the enthusiasm. Yes, what enthusiasm. All those 30 people look like they're just thrilled right to death. Yeah. And So anyway, Richard Grinnell responded to that and said, lackluster showing for Joe Biden in Arizona. Well, sorry, Richard, actually, all showings for Joe Biden are lackluster. I haven't seen an exuberant one ever. In fact, I don't think I've seen more than 50 people in a room or attend anything that Joe Biden has. Because, I don't know, well, I mean, really, I don't even think they could find 1,000 people that would want to hear Joe Biden speak. I don't, really. All right, let's go on now. Now, this is Trump War Room. Text Trump to 88022. Joe Biden wants to give a huge tax break to the wealthy, the people who least deserve, and, well, it's not that they don't deserve it, but it's that they don't need it. The middle class and the lower classes need tax breaks. That's who needs tax breaks, right? Joe Biden wants to give a huge tax break to the wealthy. Biden will get rid of President Trump's cap on how much in-state and local taxes the wealthy can write off. So right now, Trump has a cap on how much somebody of means can write off. All right? He's put a cap on that. So if you make more, you pay more in tax, and that's the way it should be. But Biden's going to take that off. So it doesn't matter how much you write off, you can write off everything. And that's what Biden wants. He's going to get rid of the cap. Now, I wonder why that is. So he and all his cronies can make lots of money and not help their share of taxes, not pay their share of taxes on it. No wonder why so many people on Wall Street are supporting Biden. Well, that's the truth. Now, let's look at this. My cats are very vocal tonight. I'm not sure. You would think that they have a rough life, but believe me, they don't. They get the best of food. They get fresh water 3 times a day. Not once, not twice. 3 times a day they get fresh water. They get nice chewy kibbles there for them and cat treats. Lots of love and belly rubs, and still they complain. Anyway, let's look at this. ABC avoids reporting police shooting victim was armed and fired weapon. Well, of course, because they don't want to ruin their narrative, do they? Of course not. So, on Thursday morning, ABC News correspondent Alex Perez was again doing his part to stoke racial strife as he informed viewers that a police officer in Milwaukee will not be charged for shooting a 17-year-old African-American teen, Alvin Cole. As Good Morning America ran a full report showing a clip in which a protester called the shooting a murder, at no point were viewers told that Cole had fired a handgun before being killed by Officer Joseph Mensah. GMA co-anchor Michael Strachan, I think that's how you pronounce, I'm not sure, set up the report. Now, 2 protests and clashes breaking out overnight near Milwaukee after the district attorney's decision not to file criminal charges against a police officer in the fatal shooting of a 17-year-old black teenager earlier this year. Alex Perez joins us with the latest. As Perez began by covering the riots that have occurred in Milwaukee suburbs, he made sure to work in the words mostly peaceful, as he recalled. Police firing tear gas at protesters throughout the night after mostly peaceful evening marches turned violent, with groups smashing windows out of businesses and even homes. The unrest erupting after the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office decision Wednesday not to file criminal charges against Wisconsin police officer Joseph Mensah in the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Alvin Cole. The ABC reporter showed a clip of the police confrontation with Cole as he vaguely referred to the cops responding to a disturbance call from a shopping center. Then came a clip of Cole's sister, Talavia, speaking at the protest rally. Talavia Cole, sister of Alvin Cole, Joseph Mensah was the last to arrive on the scene when he shot Alvin twice, then 3 more times while he was laying flat on the ground. Unidentified woman, yeah, that's murder. That's murder. Talavia Cole face down in the back. You cannot justify that. Perez further undermined Officer Menza by recalling that he had killed 3 other suspects previously, again without giving any details on why. Then came a clip of the Cole family attorney, Kimberly Motley, 19 shots fired in 5 years' time period, 3 deaths. We believe that Officer Menza should be charged with a crime, and we are going to continue to fight for that. By contrast, on the same day, Tucker Carlson Tonight, Fox News host Carlson forthrightly informed his viewers of the involvement of a gun by the perpetrator. Prosecutors said that Cole had fired a shot with a stolen handgun. When he did that, the police officer, who, by the way, is also black, returned fire. Based on all the evidence, the judicial process worked its way through and no charges were brought. It was also mentioned that the reason police were called was because Cole allegedly brandished his handgun as he confronted another man. Alex Perez is notably the same ABC News reporter who back in June filed a full report on both GMA and World News Tonight about an alleged hate crime against a biracial teen, Aletha Bernstein, but never bothered to update viewers after a police investigation suggested that her claim was a hoax. The episode of Good Morning America was sponsored by Ribelus. I'm not sure who that is. Their contact information is linked. Relevant transcript below. So yeah, very, very interesting if you ask me. So this is, let's play Tucker Carlson because since that is what actually happened.
But we do want to give you some details on the rioting. We just showed you video of it. It happens practically every day in America, but we just want to target this one specific outbreak of it. So prosecutors announced yesterday they were not going to charge a police officer in the shooting death of a 17-year-old African-American man called Alvin Cole. Prosecutors said that Cole had fired a shot with a stolen handgun. When he did that, the police officer, who, by the way, is also black, returned fire. Based on all the evidence, the judicial process worked its way through and no charges were brought. That's the way it's supposed to work, but nobody cares about the facts because a long time ago, rich partisans like Michelle Obama told them that facts don't matter. And we're only now starting to see the consequences.
That is so true. And see, this is the harm that mainstream media does when they don't tell the truth, or as I like to call it, they're economical with the truth. They withhold part of it. They withhold part of the truth to make you believe something's true that actually isn't. I call that being economical with the truth. They're not really lying, but they're leaving out important details. So, and well, aside from right out lying, they're also good at being economical with the truth. Now, I'm just going to jump over here to make sure that we are recording, and we are. So, we're good to go. Now, let's go on. And here is the next. MSNBC's Joy Reid asks if Trumpites should be tried at The Hague. Yeah, no, I know, it's hard to believe, but it's true. Now, this is from today. It's hot and fresh. So, let's look at this. On Wednesday evening, MSNBC again put on display how aligned the liberal network is with the far left as host Joy Reid, who's definitely not a joy, entertained the possibility of Donald Trump administration members being tried at The Hague for possibly breaking international law by allegedly torturing illegal immigrants when children were being separated by their parents after illegal border crossings. She fumed. Should members of this administration come up before The Hague for what they've done? I think she should, maybe. For his part, correspondent Jacob Soboroff expressed sympathy for the left-wing anti-Trump resistance as he lamented having to criticize former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who is otherwise admired by the liberal crowd for authorizing the Russia probe. The readout was one of several MSNBC shows on Wednesday that hyped a report by the New York Times shedding light on which Trump administration members voted in support of prosecuting all illegal border crossings, with Reid calling it one of the darkest chapters in American history. She also couldn't bring herself to use the word illegally, as she recalled that migrants had crossed the border without documents. When she gave Soboroff a chance to respond to the Times report, he lamented. What I saw at the time with my own eyes, what Physicians for Human Rights now call the torture of 5,500 people, according to the UN definition, was exactly what was playing out, and that what we were told at the time were lies, and they knew exactly what they were doing. Jeff Sessions, Rod Rosenstein in particular. Rod Rosenstein, you know, I'm sorry to say, a hero to many in the resistance. Reed followed up by turning to her other guest, Sergio Gonzalez, a former advisor to Democratic Senator Kamala Harris, and asked if Trump administration members should be tried at The Hague for their handling of illegal immigrants, even though they were following the law as it was at the time. This is considered torture, taking breastfeeding children from their moms and separating families in this way. All I could think of when we were preparing for this segment today, talking to my producers, is whether or not these are considered international crimes. Meaning, should members of this administration come up before The Hague for what they've done? Jeff Sessions, the former, DHS head, all of them, Donald Trump maybe, without anyone clarifying that it was actually the Barack Obama administration that built the so-called cages and started using them to hold illegal border crossings for a day or two until they can be relocated into more permanent detention centers. Gonzalez agreed with the premise of Reed's question. There's no question there are human rights abuses, and I think long after Donald Trump and Mike Pence leave the White House, this is going to be one of the darkest chapters in American history. The fact that small children, infants, were ripped away from their mother's arms and that these children were put in cages without their parents with poor treatment is something that the country and that we all are going to have to deal with and reconcile for a long time. After Reed and Gonzalez repeated the point again, suggesting that it should be difficult for Trump administration members to travel overseas because of their cruelty, the MSNBC host inserted an accusation of racism as she asserted that the policy was aimed at a very particular shade of people. Right. Earlier in the day, Morning Joe, MSNBC Live with Holly Jackson, and MSNBC Live with Katie Tur also devoted segments to hyping the Times article, which, as you know, is not accurate. And here is the thing. They had to separate children from their parents because most of the people crossing with children, those aren't their children. So, this is just absolutely ridiculous and flat out false. But this is the shenanigans that they're pulling right coming up to the election. They don't care if it's true or false or what. They don't care if they're outright lying or they're being economical with the truth. As long as they can mislead you, that is their goal. So, let's go on, because there's more. All right, and let's look at this piece of absolute ridiculousness. And I think that it would be appropriate right here to have a collective eye roll in advance of reading this. All right, Washington Post, Jennifer Rubin calls to defund Walter Reed after Trump announces White House return. This is absolutely incredibly stupid, asinine, ludicrous. Washington Post columnist Jennifer Rubin blasted the medical team at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center Monday, going as far as calling for the defunding of the hospital after President Trump announced he would return to the White House that evening. My cat right now, I know I'm interrupting, but my cat is, I just bought a water pick today because of my tooth situation. I thought that it would help. So I bought a water pick, and right now, my cat is actually trying to play with it. I hadn't put it away yet because I had to read through the directions, how to use it and all that. So, yes, he's got his entire head in the box right now. And hilarity is about to ensue. Anyway, I will go back to what we were talking about. All right, Trump tweeted Monday afternoon, I will be leaving the Great Walter Reed Medical Center today at 6:30 p.m. Feeling really good. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. We have developed under the Trump administration some really great drugs and knowledge. I feel better than I did 20 years ago. Trump's medical team, led by the White House physician, Dr. Sean Conley, reaffirmed the president's optimism, with Conley noting Trump's condition had improved from when he was admitted Friday, while adding he may not be entirely out of the woods yet. Rubin responded with a tirade blasting the president, who she called a menace to everyone around you and the doctors in charge of his recovery. Any MD who publicly endorses this insanity needs to lose his or her license, period, Rubin declared in one of several tweets. Another writing Congress might want to defund Walter Reed. It is a public health hazard. Why? Because Trump walked in it? What is wrong with you people? She said in another, not you people, you know who I'm talking to. She said in another tweet, a 74-year-old man with COVID who might have lung damage and a pattern of disregarding medical advice is returning to an environment in which he may infect others. What planet does Conley inhabit? Where is the rest of Walter Reed? The VP, they are remarkable cowards. And I want you to know, by the way, that the left is reporting that Mike Pence has COVID and wanting to make it seem as if he's caught it from Trump since Trump returned from Walter Reed. It is categorically false. It's false. That is fake news. Fake news. And we have to be more on our toes this time period during the election, because the left are absolutely out of their heads with desperation. They really are. So anyway, that is that. Yes, they want, Washington Post, Jennifer Rubin wants to defund Walter Reed because Trump was going back to the White House. I guess she thought that they should keep him and what? And do what with him? I mean, he's obviously well. I guess that upsets a whole lot of people. All right, and I don't know why I did that. Alrighty, let's go back now and look at this. Rudy Giuliani. Creepy Joe Biden was asked, don't the voters have a right to know if you intend to pack the Supreme Court? His answer, no, they don't. How many other secret plans does he have to destroy our country? Well, maybe not him, because I don't think he can formulate plans right now in his head. But those that pull the strings on him, he's just the little marionette with, I don't even think he's a marionette. I think he's like a ventriloquist. Somebody else has their hand stuck up his butt and making his mouth talk. Like, these are not his ideas. Not at all. All right. Anyway, let's look at this. Joe Biden, well, we can tell what's on his mind. Absolutely. Let's make this bigger for our tiny phone people.
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
What? What?
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
Trying my best, but it never feels like enough? What's he saying? More than a handful's a waste. I mean,
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
there you go. Trying your best. Yeah, but it never feels like enough. And that's because he's, well, little girls don't have breasts. So it would feel like it was never enough. Or it wasn't enough. Anyway, I know. I should not have even said that, but we know what he is and what he stands for. And what he's thinking about. Breasts. All right, well, and let's go back now because we can, and let's look at this. And this is important. All right, and let me get some of this stuff off there. One dead after gunfire at downtown Denver rallies. Private security guard on contract by 9 News in custody. Patriot rally and Black Lives Matter Antifa soup drive both planned for Saturday. So this is, hang on here. We have the, this is today, and it was updated at 8:30 p.m. tonight. So, and I'm not sure, that's probably Central Time. Anyway, it's fresh, very fresh and disturbing. A Denver Post staff member witnessed the fatal confrontation. The story was updated after authorities called into question the accuracy of that journalist's report concerning the affiliation of the shooter. One person has died, and another man, who 9 News confirmed was a private security guard contracted by them, is in custody after a shooting during dueling protests Saturday in downtown Denver. 9 News reported that one of their employees and a contractor for the television station was taken into custody. It later confirmed the guard was contracted through Pinkerton and that it has been the practice of 9 News for a number of months to hire private security to accompany staff at protests. Police initially said 2 people were taken into custody, but later said one of them was not involved in the incident. They tweeted that the suspect was a private security guard with no affiliation with Antifa. Now, that's not what I've heard. That's not what I've heard at all. But again, as this story develops, we're going to have to look into this a little bit deeper because I don't believe it. The incident occurred after a man participating in what was billed a Patriot rally sprayed mace at another man. That man then shot the other individual with a handgun near the courtyard outside the Denver Art Museum, according to Denver Post journalists who witnessed the incident. In a news conference after the incident, Division Chief Joe Montoya said police could not confirm the shooter's or the victim's affiliation, but said the incident started as a verbal altercation. 2 guns were found at the scene, he said, as well as a mace can. When asked about the 9 News report, Montoya said he could not confirm any connection, only saying that the department was still interviewing witnesses. One of those witnesses was a Denver Post photojournalist. We're hopeful that as soon as possible we can get the factual information out to what led to this, who the individuals involved were, Montoya said. We're hopeful that the information will kind of calm the waters a little bit. The rallies at Civic Center on Saturday came less than a month before a presidential election and amidst a global pandemic that has the nation on edge. Until the shooting, the protests were mostly considered of each group chanting and yelling at one another from across the amphitheater, which separated the 2 groups. The right-wing protesters, right, led by John Teagan, an El Paso County resident, gathered in the park's amphitheater and occasionally chanted patriotic songs and held up banners. Ooh! Yeah, they oh my gosh, they sang patriot songs and held up banners? Kill them all! Right-wing protesters, my butt. One, Quinones, a member of the biker gang Sons of Silence, decided to attend the right-wing rally after seeing Teagan's event posted online. He arrived after police had closed off the amphitheater but stayed with other right-leaning protesters. Right-leaning. What? I guess, yeah, if you're a patriot and you vote for Trump, now you're a right-winger. Yeah. If you don't come out and listen and talk and speak, they win, he said. The left-wing group, which organizers called Black Lives Matter Antifa Soup Drive, held up flags and signs railing against Nazis and white supremacists as they gathered in the middle of the park, several hundred feet from the barricaded-off amphitheater. See how they're framing this? See how they are purposefully trying to mislead us, because that is not what happened at all. The Patriots were having just a rally, a get-together, a peaceful protest, because they weren't protesting, they were singing patriot songs, and Black Lives Matter Antifa shows up. And one of these guys over here, the peaceful guys, gets shot, who didn't even have a weapon, from what I've heard. So, but, you know, they're going to make it seem, they're going to squeeze it, they're going to squeeze every drop of juice out of it to fit their narrative. Anyway, an hour in, police had fired what appeared to be pepper balls after people from the leftist group started rattling a barrier headed into the amphitheater. One protester burned a thin blue line flag in front of the officers. Now, this is the Antifa people, obviously. The other people, the Patriots, were not doing any of that at all. All right. The soup drive idea appealed to Isabel DeFrancesca, who said she came out because she liked the idea to help low-income folks. She brought pasta, but she said was apprehensive about what she's seen online in anticipation of events. Richard Johnson and Amy Thompson were walking by the amphitheater when they passed by the rally. America, by and large, if you look at the media, thinks that most of America is for defunding the police, and it is the hard liberal left and that wants to riot in the street. And I personally don't believe the numbers bear that out, Johnson said. Barb Galinsky of Denver said that she attended the counter-protest because nobody is judge, jury, and executioner. And we need to go forward and not backwards, she said. White supremacist groups represent moving backwards. It was not a white supremacist group. It was not. Galinsky said she expected violence at the event Saturday because that's what the right-wing groups want. Really? The right-wing groups want that? Oh my gosh, they are just running with this narrative, and it's sickening. It's really, really sickening. Yeah, James Rotten was manning the table of books about communism at the rally and the soup drive as a response to the original rally plan. He led chants such as no cops, no KKK, no fascist USA. Yeah. So listen to this. Listen to this. James Rotten was manning the table of books about communism. Now, this is the counter-protester, meaning the patriots, and then you've got the counter-protesters, which they're trying to paint as the good guys, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and he was manning a table of books about communism, while chanting no cops, no KKK, no fascist USA. But he wants communism. Right. We think every far-right rally like this wants to be a dangerous race riot, he said. Yeah, says the man who's manning a table of books about communism. In anticipation of the heightened tensions, Denver police said the department respects the right to peacefully assemble. Those who participate in protest, demonstration, marches, or other gatherings as protected by the First Amendment are reminded to do so in a lawful manner. Well, they were until Antifa and Black Lives Matter showed up. And then, of course, who do they blame it on? The peaceful patriots who they call white supremacists. I bet you a lot of them weren't even white. Just ridiculous. Anyway, individuals who choose to act outside of local, state, and federal law will be subject to citation or arrest, but only if you're a right, leaning to the right and a Trump supporter, because if you're on the left, well, hey, they'll slap you on the back. They'll probably give you a gun to kill the other guys. I don't know. I'm getting so tired of them talking to us like we're idiots and that we can't figure out what's going on and we need them to tell us. Right. All right, and Charlie Kirk said a conservative was just murdered in Denver by a member of Antifa. Joe Biden said Antifa was just an idea. An idea doesn't murder people in the streets. This is a terrorist organization, and Joe Biden needs to immediately disavow them before more people die. Could not agree more. Now, that is it for tonight. So, I will be back tomorrow, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And we will continue then with the news. I know this has been a short show tonight, but, well, I think I've covered it. Unless more news happened after I prepared this, and I'm sure there has. So I'll be back tomorrow, and we will look at what's happening in the world then. All right, guys. Good night. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed. And if you're in Canada, happy Thanksgiving. It's on Monday in Canada. So good night, guys. Take care.